right, excellent afternoon to all our viewers right now. Our presence today with our works and projects leave the evidence of our worth. And I must say that our worth is essentially not who we are, but we offer our society with, how do I put it that, we offer the society with our presence and of course with humanity, nature of our sides. But again, I welcome everyone who is joining us right now, and you're welcome to another interesting or exciting edition of Real Talk with Kike. My name remains Kike Atanda-Owo, and of course, I have one of the real talkers on the platform today. Dami is not feeling too good, but don't worry, we're going to keep it down. How you doing? And say for the woman with the gray hair.
I'm good. What would I call you now? Brownie. Hello, Kike. It's good to see you again.
Same here.
Thank God we're here, surviving another day. Lord, we thank you. It's another day in our dear country. And our viewer, we just want to welcome you to our Launch Hour show. Join in the conversation and let's see what we get out of this and move this nation forward, like I always say.
Yeah, I'm talking about move the nation forward.
Yes.
I know that you would like to banter a little bit with the state of the nation right now and your plight at the moment, the fact that you've not had light for days. And you made me feel bad coming before going out and say, Kike, you have 24 hours light, but I don't want you to always put it like that.
No, I didn't say 24 hours light. I'm sure you had like, I heard on the news,
Yeah.
you know, that Lekki Phase 1 had light, you know. But I think it's really disturbing what Nigerians have to go through. And I heard on the news this morning saying the president, who probably is coming in today, apologizing to Nigerians for the fuel scarcity on the one hand and the no power situation. I think that's not good enough. It's not. Because why are Nigerians going through what they're going through? The weather is so hot. You know, people have their freezers loaded with food for those who can afford it. And now they don't even know what to do with the food. And food is so expensive in the market. So, Kike, I don't know where we go from here as a nation, because it's like all sectors are not working, you know, and there are no consequences for bad, you know, behavior.
I concur with you, and exactly what I treated on my radio show yesterday. You know, when you look at the hike in diesel, and the fact that, you know, the Minister for Petroleum is saying that, you know, light is even, or power is even better under this administration, makes me wonder whether we are both living in the same country. But moving on to another segment of this show, you know, something happened in Plateau State exactly this day 6 years ago. Let's get to see more or hear more details from this day in history segment. Stay with us, we'll be right. What's wrong with me today?
Nothing. Stress.
Stay with us, we'll be right back.
On this day in history, in 2016, suspected Muslim Fulani herdsmen disguised as soldiers butchered and then burned nearly a dozen Christians, mostly women and children, in the Riyam region of Plateau State, close to the site of a recent sectarian massacre. Most of the victims of the raid on the village in the Riyam region of Plateau State were women and children. State radio reported as locals accused the security forces of failing to act quickly enough to prevent the slaughter. A reporter at the scene of the carnage in Bayi village said that he had counted 12 bodies which bore deep machete cut and had been partially burned. The State Information Commissioner put the overall toll at 13. Those wounded were now being treated at a missionary hospital in Vam, near the state capital, Jos. He added, half a dozen homes were also being torched by the killers, said the reporter. Surviving residents could be seen crying and wailing in grief.
Right, exactly 6 years ago. I know that a dozen of Christians were burnt, and of course, they were mostly children and women. And I must say that I remember when I was trying to collate all of this together, how a state radio actually felt that they didn't act swiftly to the situation at hand at the time. And I'm asking myself, has anything changed till date? The answer is no, because most times it seems as if, you know, the government actually dragged their feet, you know, when situations like this or other things that have
Okay.
happened are still happening,
Yes.
you know, and when we expect them to act swiftly, you know, they tend to drag their feet, just like I said earlier. And I just want to use this opportunity to just say that, you know, may the souls of the departed, you
Rest
know,
in peace.
rest in peace. And of God, may God continue to grant their families, you know, the what's it called now? The
fortitude
fortitude to
to
bear
bear
the loss, because it's not easy to lose loved ones. And the fact that you can see that even those who survived, do you understand, you can see them, you know, crying, you know, that actually will touch you. And therefore, what's your take on this quickly?
Kike, I don't know how we got to this point in our history, frankly. We've become a nation where, you know, we behave like, I don't know. I really do not understand it. And you find out that, Kike, women and children are mostly always victims,
Yeah.
you know, in times of war, name it, because the men can defend themselves somewhat, you know. How is it that you burn women and children alive? Who does that? Who does that? We hear all these kinds of stories and they're really disturbing. They are it's not enough to say, okay, we have security agencies, just like you said, who will not act swiftly when they should. You know, and sometimes I believe because those in authority are not affected by these things directly, you know. But these are fellow Nigerians like us, you know, getting killed and burned in their own homeland. Like you said, what has changed? Nothing. Because most parts of this administration, all we have ever heard is Fulani headsmen, supposedly, you know. And what has been done? None has been arrested, not one, till date. So I don't know, Kike.
It's unfortunate. Many thanks for staying with us, talking about our worth and the value we give to our community. As I said earlier, we have two important guests on the show today, and they are ready to discuss about what their works are and how much they have given to humanity. And I think the first segment of this show, as they say, ladies first. So I will be bringing our first guest in. We have a brilliant and enterprising woman. Yes, even though I'm the one saying so, you guys need to listen to our proper show. She'll be walking us through the impact of our foundation, Stop Hurting People. I think that's the name of the foundation. Hi, welcome to the show, Pastor Uni. It's a pleasure to have you via our virtual line. How are you doing today? But I think I would like to refer to you as a media personality, because I know that you're a TV host as well. And you look beautiful, by the way. How are you doing today?
Hi, Kike. Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing well, and you? You look extremely beautiful too.
Thank you, thank you. So let's dive straight to the topic at hand. You know, my first question to you is that as a TV host, a producer, an entrepreneur, and of course a pastor, how did you come about all of this that you're doing at this time? And of course, when it comes to your vision and the capacity to establish Stop Hurting People Foundation, what inspired that?
Oh, well, I want to start by saying, well, putting all this together will be nothing other than the grace of God anyway. So my first appreciation goes to the grace of God. And then Stop Hurting People Foundation was actually the reason why Stop Hurting People Foundation was started was as a result of the kind of a pain I went through at the age of 29. Yeah, I was married at the age of 21. And then a few years later, I lost my husband. And I lost him in very mysterious circumstance. And then the pain was intentionally intense. It was intense. And like, you know what happens in Africa to widows, you know, as a young widow, I mean, I was so young to be a widow, but I was and had gone through hell and out. For courtesy for my late husband and our daughter. I won't want to talk about their family, but because I guess they did as much as they knew better. But it was not a joke. I went through hell and out. And I looked at it and I discovered that a lot of women, if I could be going through all I went through at my level, I was young, but there were a lot of things already in place at the time. I mean, if anybody could treat me like that, I knew that, you know, smaller women, lesser women in quotes, excuse my language, I don't know a better word to use. I mean, but I just knew that more women, more girls, younger girls, smaller girls, maybe weaker women would be going through even worse circumstances. And I just felt that if God helped me, those people may need to be carried too. I think basically that was how Stop Hurting People Foundation was born. It would interest you to know that I went through litigation for 16 years. This happened in 2003. For 16 years, I was going through litigation for a struggle for estate. And you know what that means. And all sorts of threats to my life. And I felt many a woman who do not have that much capacity to fight will break, will die, will go insane, will totally throw in the towel. And I thought I could stand as husband, as friend, as family. You know, I could stand as a fight companion for these women. That was actually why Stop Hurting People Foundation was born.
Good afternoon, Pastor Chukwemeka. I want to say welcome to our program again. We're sorry about all you went through, sorry about your loss, but we thank God that you're out of it. And I want to say that your foundation, the name of your foundation speaks for itself. And I particularly like the fact that you say Stop Hurting People Foundation, because basically we live in a country now where we hurt each other, you know, at the slightest, you know. So my question now to you will be, in the first place, there are two questions, but I'll take the first one. How do you juggle these responsibilities, all the duties? You're a TV co-host, you're a pastor, you're a consultant, human resource consultant. How do you do it, ma?
Well, thank you very much. I want to start by saying you look very beautiful too.
Thank
and
you
I love
very
your
much.
hair.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Well, I would want to say passion does it all. For example, basically, Stop Hurting People Foundation is the mother body. The TV programs is the enlightenment arm of Stop Hurting People Foundation. So as it were, you could just say it's one thing running in different branches. You know, the TV, we even have a legal arm of Stop Hurting People Foundation that you haven't even reflected there. But as a TV host, what we do is mentor the people, because it wasn't just going to be a matter of helping the women get out of trouble, like getting a legal team to fight for them if they cannot afford to fight and get back that which belongs to them. But, you know, they also need to be aware, because you see, if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what your rights are, then abuse is inevitable. You will be abused as a woman. You will be taken for granted. You will be molested. So that's the reason for the TV programs and the conferences, like the Fixing the Woman. What we do is mentor the woman. So you want to say that it's just one vision spread out. So it's just the same burden of getting the woman out of the cage. So it's one thing. I mean, it's seamless. I try to cope.
All right, many thanks for that submission. And I must ask you, you know, there are more charity organizations than before. You know, there are less privileged homes than before in Nigeria as well. So the wealthy, will I say the wealthy are also wealthier in Nigeria. So how come we have more deprived people and poverty-striking people in our country till date? What do you think is causing it based on your foundation? Because I'm sure that you must have related to a lot of people and circumstances and situations. What's your take on this?
Well, you already know I'm a pastor, so my background is always the Bible. The Bible says there will always be the poor in the land. Why it says so, I don't know. But basically, I think that the Nigerian situation is not exonerated from the reason why there are so many poor on the street. Like you said, there are many who are also wealthy. It's like the rich is getting richer, the poor is getting poorer. Yeah. And that's also because of the fact that we do not learn to be our brother's keeper. Like we always say as a slogan in our foundation, if you learn to be your brother's keeper, then we would, in one way or the other, alleviate the sufferings of the poor. Because if you walk on your corner, on your little corner, if you help all the people you can help on your little corner, and I deal with all the people I can deal with, we will in no time discover that we have a sanitized nation, to say the least. So truly, the rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. The rich are not helping the poor, and then the poor are honestly not making enough effort to get out of their poverty. I can tell you that for free. I can tell you that working with the poor is the most difficult thing you can afford to do. Because while you're trying to lift them up, they're trying to pull you down. So it's quite a difficult situation, but I also think that if our government, like my NGO, has been for about 18 years and we've never gotten a grant from government. We do all the things we do from our private purse and help contributions from friends and well-meaning Nigerians. I mean, if the government can enable the NGOs, the willing NGOs that are truly humanitarian. That's why I talked about passion from the beginning. Because if your NGO is not born out of passion, then you just be doing business. But if you have passion for the suffering, for the less privileged, for the poor, then you will do what you ought to do. And if government will aid the Nigerian NGOs by giving grants to them,
all right,
that could be, they could reach out.
All right, talking about grants, I feel that the challenges with many foundations is that of funding, if you ask me. And I'm sure if I ask you, you will tell me that you can do more if you get more. So
absolutely,
if you had access to the government right now, I mean funds, what certain changes will you bring to our system?
Well, if I had access to government or power, I will obviously build more schools. I will do more schools, more good schools, not just schools. Because you see, education is all. Education is everything. Because the more you educate the people and bring an awareness to the people of who they are, let them be aware of their surroundings and what possibilities are open to them, then you raise a wealthy nation. I would establish more schools. I would think about hospitals, more hospitals for the people, because a healthy people are a healthy nation. If you do not have a healthy people, I mean, suffice you to know that we have leaders all over Nigeria who, at the slightest ailment, they are brought medical attention. And then we have the power. You are in power, you are in position, you are in leadership, you have access to literally bring wherever you're going, the UK, America, wherever, bring it down to Nigeria by the things you do. So if I have access to funds, I will honestly build schools, I'll build hospitals. I will enlighten the people to know who they are, because it's not, that's money on its own. That's money on its own, and that's also wealth for the nation.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Kike took the question right out of my mouth. I was going to ask you, how do you go about funding? But I've had a brief on that already. So going back to the people, when we're talking about the poor, I heard you talk about the mindset of the poor. It appears there has to be a reset of the mindset of the poor. So I think I also agree that education, it's the key to our deliverance from poverty. How do we go about these processes?
Thank you. I didn't get to hear your name, so
My name is Efo. Efo.
okay. Thank you, Efo.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I've always said, poverty is first of the mind before it became of the pocket. You know, you know, I said to somebody who was so ridiculous some time ago, I said to him, you are so poor, all you have is money. Because you see, poverty is first in the mind before it became in the pocket. Now, if we have enlightenment, you know, units to enlighten, if we have the regular education, regular schools, good schools, not just schools. Sometimes our NGO go into schools, you know, to give relief materials or stuff to schools, because you go to these schools, you see that the learning condition is such that the children would hardly learn. They won't even learn. Nobody will learn in such a condition. Now, for us to educate the people, we need to, in the first place, create an environment.
Okay.
Create an environment that is education possible. We need to create an environment. We need to feed the people. As simple as food is, no hungry man learns. You cannot get a hungry man learning. And that's what Stop Hurting People Foundation is about. We'll first give them food. We used to hold, before the COVID-19 set in, we used to have our programs in Sheraton hotels. And we did that on purpose, because you see, if you want to educate or alleviate poverty from a man's mind, you need to lift that person from that level where they are to see that certain things are possibilities. Now, we intentionally hold our meetings in Sheraton Hotel, and then you see some of these people say, I can't enter because they won't let me enter. And we say, no, you can come in. We bring them in and let them know that anybody can enter into Sheraton Hotel if they consider themselves fit to enter into the place. So what we want to do, if we want to alleviate poverty, is to start from the mind, educate the people, create an awareness, let them be aware of who they are and what they are about their environment. Let them be aware of their environment. Let them be aware of the possibilities around them. You know, if we do that, because you see, you can give a man fish, you can give a man a house. There are some people who've given houses, cars, they sold the cars. They sold the car. There was a particular man who gave a car because, you know, that was going to be very helpful to him. He sold the car and returned back to not having a car. But you see, such a man, if properly educated about who he is and why he should live a better life, that kind of a man, putting money into his pocket, will yield something. But the moment we cannot give enough education to the people, then poverty is inevitable.
All right, many thanks for that as well. You know, I cannot help but ask you this question, because I feel that there is a controversy cliche about women supporting women. Many times I say on this platform, I'm not really a believer of it. I feel that it's just lip service and all of that. But with your own, you know, will I say, background and experience and exposure, what's your philosophy about it? Do you think that it's just something that applies to Nigeria alone or all over the world? What's your take on this, women supporting women?
Well, from my experience, even abroad, I discovered that it's more of a black thing. It's more of a black thing
Yeah.
because even abroad, apart from Nigeria, a black thing. Even abroad, I hear my friends talk to me about their offices. The biggest fight they have is from women
Exactly.
and black women. And then it's incredible. It's I said at the last conference we had, you know, every time when we if we talk about the political scene of Nigeria, for example, people say in Nigeria, the women say, oh, the men don't give us a chance. The men are not giving the women a chance in the Nigerian polity. And I say, no, the women are not giving the women a chance. Because in the Nigeria polity, I mean, if you look at the census in Nigeria, we are told that the women are more than the men. And then we are made to believe that votes count in our elections. So who voted the men into power? Who stood by the
Good
men?
question.
Who voted the men? And then there's a woman candidate standing there, excuse me, and all the women gravitate towards the men, vote for the men, and then nobody votes for the woman. A typical woman is obviously sentimental and jealous about the progress of her fellow woman. It ought not to be. And I choose to be an exception. That's, that's why Stop Putting People Foundation was born. Because after I went through what I went through, I said to myself, on my watch, I won't see any woman go through so much trouble, whether I know you or not. You know,
Yes.
so
Fantastic.
Yeah,
I think women are the problem of women, not men, the problem of women.
Thank you so much. I completely agree with you, ma'am. And now we're talking about the holistic paradigm shift. Can you please tell us about your mentorship platform and how it would positively impact the girl child growing into the woman?
Okay, like I said, thank you.
You're welcome.
Like I said earlier, the DMWE, Destiny Moment with You, is fixing the woman. The DMWE is the mother body of the show, of the talk show. Now, fixing the woman is the arm that is created to create a holistic paradigm shift for the girl and the woman. And what we do, the girl child and the woman, what we do, because you see, we have discovered that the girl child, especially in Africa, not just in Africa, all over the world, I would say, because it's like that in India, it's like that in so many places, except a few nations of the world. The girl child is seen as the other child, and the boy child is seen as the real child. And then over time, the girl child has lost her very essence, because she's been told from why she was born, she's been raised to know that, well, you are the older child, you are a woman, keep quiet, sit down, don't talk. Go to the kitchen while your brother is watching the TV. Go and sweep the house while your brother is going to play football. So that girl child is permanently beaten down because she was first beaten down from home. And mom and dad are her hero and heroine anyway. So they have told her from the onset that she was a nobody. So she grows into feeling that, well, I'm a nobody. The more reason they even go, you see a woman begging for the love of a man, you just need to love me. Just anyhow, I will do anything, just anything you say. Please just let me be your slave. Because her mother, her father had already told her, you are the other child. You are not as good as you. So this paradigm shift we want to create in the woman is to say to her, look, there is nothing, I dare to say this. We know how the man was created from the Bible, but nobody understands how the woman was created. The Bible says God put Adam to sleep and took a rib from him. You know, as I know, that a rib is one tiny rope or stick, whatever that thing is. It's a rib that couldn't have made a curvy, lovely woman standing there. God made Adam to sleep off. He put him to sleep. So not even Adam himself knows how a woman was made. And beats me hollow to imagine that such a beautiful piece that was so made, so organized, so properly put together by God himself is been told the lies over and over and over all through the years, that she has seen herself as such an inferior personality, that she has truly become inferior as she has seen herself. Because the Bible says, as they saw themselves, so they became, you know, in themselves. So fixing the woman is built to call back the woman, call back her sensibilities, and let her know that you are a wonder.
Fantastic.
Woman, you are a wonder.
Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. You know, because of time, I know we're running out of time. I would like to ask you this last question, and I will appreciate if you can respond to me in a minute. I know personalities like you always have burning desire to change the society positively, and as I can see thus far with your passion. Let us go into politics a little bit before I wrap up. What would you like to change in our political system, knowing that 2023 is around the corner? Can you answer that in 1 minute, please?
I want the politics to change in the direction of bringing the woman into governance. Bring the, you say in 1 minute.
Yes.
I like that. That's 10 seconds.
That may just be the need that Nigeria has. That may just be the solution that Nigeria is looking for. Bring more women into politics.
Fantastic. Thanks for
Thank
joining
you so
us,
much.
Pastor Eunice. It's been a wonderful time on the show with you. And I must say that, I love the passion in you, and you are fulfilling when it comes to the great work that you're doing. And I pray for more power to your elbow and to our elbows. I pray that we all come together to look for how to contribute to the society at large. Again, enjoy the rest of your day. All right, glad to know you're still with us. In case you just joined the show, today's edition is centered on two important society transformers. Yes, that's the word I like to use right now. We have had the pleasure of, conversing with Pastor Eunice in our first segment of the show regarding our projects, our works through our foundation, Stop Hurting People. And I must say that I love that name, Stop Hurting People. And in the next segment of the show, I'm happy to bring another entrepreneur who is an author. His book is a best-selling book, and well, I'm saying that maybe I'm promoting you. We will be discussing why it's necessary to have a copy of his book. But I must say, welcome again. But before, I think we'll listen to your profile. But how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you with us.
Yeah.
All right, before we go straight to coming to you regarding your book, it's important for me to quickly open our phone lines. Don't forget that you can be part of this conversation by calling the studio number 080-988-77400. It's showing on your screen right now. And remember that we're streaming live from our YouTube page and, of course, our Facebook page on Silverbird and Real Talk with Kike platform. And I must come to you. I like the title of your book. And it gives first-time attraction, if you ask me, with the thought of really. So, do people need money to get rich? You know, that was something that made me ponder on that book. You know, and so I want you to emphasize that there is a philosophy, or like a philosophy out there that many people believe that you must have money to get rich quickly. And I feel that some of the challenges we are facing today in our society is about getting rich quickly. How does your book change that narrative?
Okay, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Let me tell you something regarding you don't need money to be rich. Living a life outside the content of your purpose, even though you have money, you have a problem with yourself. If you're supposed to be an engineer and you are not a doctor, you are making money through doctorate, do you think you're going to be happy? Do you think you are rich? If you have everything you need to have, and your life is making people happy, and you are miserable, do you think you are happy? You ask yourself a question that only you can answer. So when I look at the book, I've been making money, and I'm about to go out of school. My elder brother told me, oh, stay there, don't go. I was looking at my elder brother. I'm making money, you are telling me to stay inside the school. And I realized, oh, My brother was thinking, I was not thinking. My elder brother was thinking, I was not thinking. So when I realized that all I have to do is to study how people think on earth, when I now realized that, okay, the mystery of life is not all about money. It's all about your purpose on earth. Because if you're an engineer, you're supposed to be a pilot. Do you think you'll be fulfilled? So your presence can make people be happy. But are you happy? So that's where I come in and I study and I put everything into action. Because I said, when I was launching my book, saying and doing does not equal result. What you say and what you do does not equal result. Because a lot of people will say something, they want to do something, and if they are trying to do it, something inside of them is telling them that, are you sure this thing is going to work? Are you sure this is going to work? At the end, it will not work. You will say, I've done everything. How do you know you have done it if you don't know everything? So you have to put that action inside of you. I was watching your program the other day. You were asking white money, how will you empower this youth? And the way you talk to him, I see like, okay, you're actually doing what you love. It's an idea you form. And now we are working on this idea. You invite me to your platform today now. So if you ask yourself, I want to do this, I want to do this. Today, we won't be here today.
All right, but you know, listening to you, and just like I said earlier about people getting rich quickly, how does this book, you know, this beautiful book, you know, which is very attractive,
nicely packaged,
you know, how does it set a balance for those who don't want to work towards developing a skill and finding value? Because I believe strongly that this content here is for the youth, and the youth that we are talking about is for everybody, but mostly it will kind of change the narrative for the youth, for those who want to, you know, try to, you know, the youth of today, they are on another level entirely. But how do you think that this will help them in finding value?
Okay. When I talk about the youth now today, I look at them as if they are doing the right thing with the wrong mindset. I was in a place and the speaker was saying, stop thinking. Thinking will not help you. No, I understand what you're saying. You have to think. He's trying to tell them, don't worry, because a lot of people are not thinking, they are worried. When you worry over your problem, the problem did not solve, and you say you are thinking, do you actually think? You did not think. You were just worried. That's where we are today. So the youth are doing the right thing with the wrong mindset. This is the best generation. If you do something here less than 2 minutes, it's in America. Anything you do. So when you look at it from that point of view, you understand what the 11th president of India said. He said, before you can realize your dream, you need to dream. So if you look at it from that point of view.
Okay. I happen to have listened to you on a book on review with Benji. So I listened to the review. So my question now is, the aim of your book is to help people realize their purpose. If there's one piece of advice you could give to someone trying to find their purpose, what would it be?
Carry your destiny on your hand. But how you can carry, because I have someone, for the sake of confidentiality, I will not want to mention his name. The music industry have taken him to the highest level. But he told me, Sherman, if I have it all over today, I won't play music. Where do you think that is coming from? It's coming from an empty space. Even though he follow his passion, because a lot of people are saying, follow your passion, follow your passion. No, you don't need to follow your passion, because your passion will take you to where you need to get to. Give you everything, give you all the money you need, but it will leave you stranded. You have to follow your purpose. I don't like reading, I don't like writing, but this is what I need to do, this is my purpose. So I do it, then my passion linked to it. Today I can't do without reading. The journalists were talking to me the other day, they said, do you understand Nigeria does not read? Who told you Nigeria does not read? If I'm not reading, am I not in Nigeria? Are you not in Nigeria? You are in
Nigerians don't read.
Nigeria read!
If you need to hide the truth,
Kike, there's a reading culture now that's going around.
Read.
I'm not sure.
There is.
Maybe you can say.
Are you not in Nigeria? Do you know?
No, the elites don't even have the time.
Maybe that's another conversation for another day.
Yeah.
You know, coming to you now,
Yes.
you are a brand and business strategist, and I feel that some of your feedback, some of the lines that you've used have shown that you are a business strategy, Dr. Daniel. But there are tough times now in Nigeria. We have to be honest on this platform, and I feel that most businesses are struggling, and the cost of running organization now is unbelievable with current power issues or situation, and the hiking for prices as well. How can your own business thrive now in this period, and how can you convince people, you know, that would like to have a copy of this book, what's your message for them? I don't need you to spill all the content in the book, but what message you have for them quickly that will make them run to the next bookstore to get a copy of this book?
If you come in contact with this book, there's a place at the end. You read it all over and over again. It's a message, like someone watching me right now would think it's coincident, but it's not coincident. All of us are connected by destiny.
Okay.
All of us are connected by destiny. So how does it come up? When you know that you are connected by destiny and you come in contact with destiny, don't let destiny go. You go after your destiny by doing the things that you know you need to do within your heart. Because today we have two types of desire. If nobody produces the car you are desiring to buy, will you want to have a taste to buy that car? That is the head desire. But your heart desire is that which you desire to do to help people. Putting this together is called heart desire. So the only message I will say, follow your destiny. Your destiny will make you understand your purpose very well. Because everything that happens that make you cry, those are the same thing that will you now realize that, oh, it's good that this thing happen, it's good that this thing, it's good that this thing happen. You see all the things will fit together. Like Steve Jobs said, you cannot connect the dots without looking backward. You have to connect it.
All right, many thanks for coming on the show, and it's an interesting one to have you on Real Talk with Kike on today's episode. But before we let you go, we're not allowing you go here. There's the last segment of the show that is a trending story that binds us together as family, or that interests us. And the first trending story that caught our attention, which I think the news broke about a few minutes or
a few hours ago.
It's about the outgoing governor, Willie Obiano's wife that slaps Bianca Ojukwu, wife to the what's his name again? Chukwuemeka Ojukwu.
Bianca.
I wish that they can pull up the video quickly for us, but you know, Auntie, let me come to you quickly. What's your take on this?
Kike, when I saw it, I went like, what the heavens, for want of a better word. How do you do that to a fellow woman? We were just talking about women just now, you know. How do you do that to a fellow woman? She's not, number one, she's not your girl. Number two, she's not your slave. At an inauguration, how do you, no matter the provocation, why would you go ahead, lift your hand and slap another guest? I can't wrap it around my head. I don't understand it. I'm not trying to understand it, but I think it's condemnable. Kike.
All right, let's watch the video for a few seconds before we.
Sorry, sir. The seat is at the end.
You know, it's like you said, and therefore it's really shameful. And this happened just a few hours ago, just like I said earlier, the inauguration ceremony of the new governor,
Dr. Charles Soludo.
Charles Chukwuemeka Soludo. And no doubt that it's a public scene. And the outrage for me, if you ask me, was unnecessary when it comes to the outburst. And I feel that the outburst lacks decorum and unbefitting of public attention. And I'm sure the news have not really been clear, if you ask me, what caused the issue or the scuffle that transpired there, and the fact that how will I put it now, they had to separate them. It just shows to me that what kind of disgrace is this? I want to believe that the so-called women, you know, they are elite. These are two involved elites and leaders of women. You know, when we talk of women in business, women in politics, women in, you know, entrepreneurship and all that, a lot of people look up to them, and they are role models to quite a number of people. And I just feel that the disgrace is not just for Miss Bianca Ojukwu alone. I just feel that the disgrace is also for the First Lady of the state, who slapped, you know, another woman in public. I don't know.
Outgoing.
You know, the outgoing. Yeah, I don't know which now I'm hearing that is Bianca, I'm hearing another story is this, but I just feel ashamed that both of them could even engage each other in such a public place. And I feel that these are some of the challenges that we are facing today when it comes to people that we look up to, you know.
I was just going to say that, Kike.
You know, more power of character.
We should be careful who we look up to.
Exactly, you know. And yes, they might have had their own differences when it comes to the political arena, when it comes to airing their voices and the likes and all of that. But I just feel that it's unfortunate that they displayed such acts. And I know that they've been running commentary in my ears that we need to run now. So I might not be able to ask you for your submission. But quickly, let me see if we can touch on the second trending story in 2 minutes. The second trending story that caught our attention is that of a heavy-duty truck carrying a container, a shifted container. I wish we can also show it to the public right now. But let me quickly give my submission on this, because when I saw this, I just felt that we play with danger and human lives carelessly in this country. And I feel that the fact that these tragedies and accidents still occur from trucks falling from containers is a proof that the road safety agencies are not doing their work. Yes, I said so because I feel that we have been clamoring and calling for the attention, you know, of agencies to this kind of accident for almost 10 years. And now I can see that there are no changes. We are not seeing any changes. Is it onto the same truck, or will I say other trucks like this kill about 20 people before we can now start throwing banters about the loss of lives? Or is that the time we'll now start saying that, okay, what happened? What can we learn from this, or from this mistake in our country? I just feel that we don't appreciate lives. In as much as I would like to thank I appreciate the person who brought the attention to the public space, especially when it comes to social media. But however, I believe that we've not improved when it comes to safety and security culture in our country. And what do I mean by that? This should have been a second thing that we shouldn't even be seeing in our public in the public space for how will I put it that? But I just feel that the first thing that should come to our mind when we see things like this is 911. Let us dial 911, even if we don't have the emergency contact of road safety agency. Just dial the emergency line. We can get through to all the right people later on. But the fact that this still repeats itself, such an immediate action have not been taken to avert loss of lives. We should change our culture. It's a good thing that we are informing the public, but the fact that we put all these things in our social media, that's the reason why I feel that international bodies sometimes, they look at us and they wonder that we are still in a third world country. Because there's more to life that we need to prioritize. And of course, when it comes to more safety and imperatively, I would like to avert danger first. I think that we lack that urgency. That urgency. Yes. You know, and even when I saw the video, I could see how sometimes they were cracking jokes at the back. I'm wondering, you don't share one.
No, Kike, I was like saying very quickly that the person who even should have just gone ahead to stop the truck driver from further movement. You know, to tell him that there's danger. Do you understand? So, Kike.
I don't even know what to say. Because if you see what is going on right now, in America, everything has to go through tests. There are some certain cars cannot be on the road again in America. But we have those cars here. Like you just said, the internet, but they are looking at us as if like we are rubbish. And most of us, if you go up there,
it's just unfortunate. I don't know if our first guest is on the line, but I know that we've run out of time and they are running commentary. Oh, you have just 30 seconds, 1 minute. All right, we've come to the end of another edition of Real Talk.